Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today, sit a while for we are playing some more NHL21 franchise with the Ottawa Senators. Okay, so we made one trade at the trade deadline. Although I tried really hard to go for Nathan McKinnon, I just couldn't put it together. I think they wanted more than I was willing to offer at this point. So we're gonna go ahead and start playing the month of March. We are a little bit on a losing skid here. We were playing for 500 at one point, but it is not the case now anymore. And I don't think we're gonna be in the playoffs unless we really start turning it on during the month of March. So we're gonna take a look at who is the best. So our best player is Trocheck. So he only has 44 points in 64 games. So we're not scoring many goals, or at least not as much as I would like. That's for sure. Kachuk kind of woke up a little bit. So he now has 43 points, but yeah, Kubalik is probably my best player. He's almost a point per game. He did miss time with injury, so 41 points in 47 games. Let's take a look, see if McDavid is still the best player in the league. Probably. Yep, 84 points. Patrick Kane, 80. Ao, McKinnon, Marchand, Crosby, Scheifele, Marner, and Malkin. So they all make sense. Alright, now we're gonna take a look at who is better. Oops, that's the injury report, that's fine. Alright, so we still have Matt Murray out, so we already knew that. Let's look at progress reports here. So Formanton still at 82, so nothing new there. Get in the system. Oh, Bemstrom is getting worse. So Stützle went from 80 to 81, so next year he's gonna be in the NHL finally. Bemstrom is getting worse, so he's lost 16 points and he's now at 79, so that's not good. Langfeld is now at 77, close to being in the NHL as well. Sokolov is at 76, might be playing in the NHL as well if he continues to improve. Lassie Thompson is at 74. Christoph Rabik is now at 73. Sillinger got a little bit of a boost here. He's now at 71. Lodin is a 68. Aduk is a 68. Likachev is a 67. Arnsby is a 67. Engstrand is a 67 as well. Tuparainen is a 61. Miknov is a 54, and then Thompson is a 51, despite a 20-point increase. Thompson was a 6th-round draft pick, so yeah, if he becomes a player, that's cool. If not, I mean, a lot of 6th-round draft picks never make it to the NHL, so that happens. And then in the league, of course, we're not gonna look at the trades because the trade deadline just happened, so you know that would be taking a lot of time to look through all of that. So we're gonna check signings, and nobody signed anywhere, so we are ready to get March underway. So it starts by hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have a bad record, actually. They're not in a playoff spot right now. So the score, for me to actually have some gameplay, we haven't had that in a while. I'm a little bit confident with the score today. If I'm down 2-1 heading into the third period, I'm going to go ahead and play the third. So I think we have a good shot at getting some gameplay today. Yeah, we have one more points than the Leafs right now. Wow. Alright, let's get this underway. Oh, I haven't checked to see if Toronto has injuries. They are healthy. That's not good. Not good for us. Even if they have a bad record, they still have, I'm sure, a lot of firepower. And we are up 1-0 after 1. Dadonov scored on the power play, and we are up 1-0 after 1. We are up 3-2 after 2. So they had Robertson and Nylander score in the second period. It was 2-1 Toronto at that point, but then Kubalik scored on the power play, and then Ryan the single. So we are up 3-2 after 2. And we won 4-2 with Kubalik scoring again in the third period. Alright, pretty good, pretty good. Good start to the month here. Right, so Dadonov from the single and Batterson. So they made Batterson not that great in this game. He's in real life, he's really starting to come into his own, so they didn't give him enough potential, I think. But it's okay. Kubalik scored his 20th from Trocheck, the single from Shabbat and Norris, and then Kubalik from Shabbat. Alright. So we're going to sim to the next game, which is going to be against the Hurricanes in Carolina. Chicago is placing Nathan Beaulieu on waivers. Yeah, I don't need Nathan Beaulieu. Alright. So Carolina is 37-22-5, and they are 7-3 in their last 10. Alright, Matt Murray's still out. And Carolina's going to be without Jacob Slavin. Alright. So one of their best defensemen out. Ooh, we are up 3-1 after 1. Look at that. So Brady Tkachuk scored. Then Trocheck scored. Then Tkachuk scored again on the power play. And then Brady Shea scored for Carolina. We are up 3-1 after 1. We are up 5-2 after 2. Artem Zub scored, then Ryan the single. Then Svechnikov scored for Carolina. And Carolina scored one more goal in the third period. Svechnikov scored on the power play. And this is a 5-3 victory for the Ottawa Senators here. Alright, so Brady Tkachuk scored in the first period from Trocheck and Brandstrom. Trocheck scored his 20th from Brady Tkachuk, then Tkachuk from Kubalik. Then Zub from the single and Norris, and then the single from Norris and Kubalik. So those were our goals. Alright. So good start to the month here, 2 wins, and then we're heading into Detroit to play against the Red Wings. Alright, Red Wings are 16, 38, and 10, and they are 1-6-3 in their last 10. Matt Murray is still out. Oops. Past Detroit, and Detroit's going to be without Dylan Larkin. He is out until the end of the season. It sucks for Larkin, it sucks for them, it sucks for the fans, but realistically Detroit has no chance of making the playoffs, so it's not hurting them per se in that regard. Alright. And we are up 2-0 after 1. So Trocheck scored on the power play, and then Colin White. So it's a 2-0 Senators lead after 1. Still 2-0 after 2. Nobody scored in the second period. Oh, we're tied at 3 after 3, sorry. So yeah. So Manta scored, Timashov scored. So it was 2-2 at that point. Josh Norris made it 3-2 for us with 4:10 left to go, but Scott Lawton tied the game with 20 seconds left to go in the third period, so we're heading into overtime. Nobody scored in overtime, and we lost in the shootout. Zadina is the only guy who scored in the shootout, so we let that one get away from us. That has happened more often than I care this season. Alright, so Trocheck scored from Kubelik and Tkachuk, and Colin White from Dadonov and Ristolainen. Then Josh Norris from Ristolainen and Batherson, and that's pretty much it. Losing to Detroit. I guess we get a point. I suppose that's kind of a consolation there. Alright, St. Louis is in town, so the Blues have a very similar record to ours. They are 29, 32, and 6. They are 3-6-1 in their last 10. Oh, Matt Murray is feeling better, so he may or may not play this game. And then Sundqvist is out for the Blues, not gonna play this game. Alright, so I kind of have to check to make sure that things are okay over here. Alright, Gustafsson, Murray. Alright, so I guess the cord was sent down. Oh, did he get claimed? No, nobody claimed Joy the cord. Okay. Alright. So let's get going here. 2 games in 2 nights for us. At least we're at home in front of our fans, assuming there's no COVID anymore and that there's actually fans in the stands. Sorry about that. Alright, so Baudin and Tkachuk scored in the first period and they gave us a 2-0 lead here after 1. Nobody scored in the second period, so we're still up to nothing. So looks like we've seen that very recently, right? Hopefully we don't collapse in the third again. We didn't. We won 3-1, so Drake Batterson scored on the power play, and then Kempney prevented Gustafsson from having a shutout with a goal with 8:06 left to go in the third period. So a 3-1 victory over the St. Louis Blues. So Baudin scored from Formanton and Norris, then Tkachuk scored his 15th from Kubelik, and then Batterson from Dadonov and Kubelik. Alright. And Kubelik is now officially our best player. He's almost a point per game, so it's hard to get upset at him for sure. Alright, so Montreal is in town. They are 30, 27, and 10. Now, you know me, I always want to win those matchups against Montreal. Montreal is going to be without Thomas Tatar. Oof, we are down 3-0 here after 1. That's not good. So Shea Weber scored, Ollie Mata scored, and Josh Anderson scored. Montreal with a commanding 3-0 lead after the first period. It is 5-2 after 2. So we came back. It was 3-0. Then we had Kubelik and Batterson score. It was 3-2 at that point. But then Brendan Gallagher scored on the power play. Probably did some goalie interference that didn't get called. And then McLeod also scored. It is now 5-2 Montreal after 2. Nobody scored in the third. So we lost that fair and square to the Abs. So Kubelik from Tkachuk and Trocheck, and Batterson from Abramov and Gustafsson. Right, so we have 3 days off, and then we're playing in Anaheim against the Ducks. Alright, Anaheim, very similar record to ours. They are 31, 32, and 6. Alright, so we officially have no injuries anymore. Matt Murray completely recovered from his broken toe. And in Anaheim, they are going to be without Ilya Kovalchuk and Sonny Milano. Oh, both slated to come back on the same day in 4 days, but right now they cannot play. Alright. Let's get a win here. A little road win to start that road trip would be pretty cool. We are up 2-1 after 1, so Eric Brandstrom scored on the power play, then Brady Tkachuk scored, but then Patrice Bergeron, who is now in Anaheim, scored for the Ducks. It is 2-1 Ottawa after 1. 3-1 Ottawa after 2, Josh Norris scored, and we have a 2-goal lead heading into the third period. And we won 4-2, so Abramov scored, and then Brandon Saad, who is now in Anaheim, scored. And it is a 4-2 Ottawa victory. Alright, cool. So Brandstrom scored from Dadonov and Batterson, then Tkachuk from Hamilton and Abramov, then Josh Norris scored his 10th from Ristolainen and Shabbat, and then Abramov scored his 10th as well from Shabbat and Ristolainen. Cool. Alright, so we're now going to be in Vancouver to play the Canucks. They are 35, 30, and 5. And Brady Tkachuk is now our best player, so he started really slow, but he's picked it up lately. Cam Miller is hurt, not going to be playing this game. He has a concussion. And we are up 1-0 after 1 here with a goal from Dadonov. So we're heading into the second period with the lead. And we are up 2-1. Vincent Trocheck scored, made it 2-0, and then JT Miller scored for Vancouver. We are up 2-1 after 2. And we crumbled in the third period. And Elias Pettersson and Brock Basser scored both on the power play, and we lost 3-2. So Dadonov from Colin White and Trocheck from Kubelik and Ristolainen. Those were our goals. We dropped another game in the third period. I don't like that. We are having problems holding on to leads. Right, playing in Calgary against the Flames now. Flames are 34, 33, and 5. We are still healthy. Calgary is going to be a bit without Chris Tanev and Kyle Palmieri. Both are not going to play this game. And we are down 2-1 after 1, so Charles Hudon, oh wow, came back from Europe, I guess, and plays for Calgary now. So Hudon scored and gave them a 1-0 lead. Then we have Zadorov who scored for us to tie the game, and then Backlund scored on the power play. It is a 2-1 Calgary lead after 1. If there's no goals in the second period, I will get to play the third. Oh, there were goals. So Artem Zub made it 2-2, but then Calgary scored twice. Hanifin and Valimaki both scored. It is now a 4-2 Calgary lead after 2. Oh, for once we are the ones who came back. We scored 3 unanswered in the third, and we won 5-4. So Thomas Chabot scored, Ryan Dzingel scored on the power play, and Baudin with the game-winning goal with 6:39 left to go in the third period. Awesome. For once, we are the ones coming back. Alright, so Zadorov scored from Zub and Baudin, then Zub from Norris and Brown, then Shabbat scored his 5th from Brown and Josh Norris, Ryan Dzingel from Logan Brown and Thomas Shabbat, and finally Baudin from Abramov. Alright, now we're heading into Nashville to play against the Preds. So Nashville has a pretty decent record, 38-29-4. Oh, Colin White is injured. Seems to happen to him a lot. I don't necessarily like that, but it is what it is. Nashville is healthy. Alright, so let's just make sure that we have things looking okay here. Yep. All right. All right, no score after one, so tied heading into the second period. No score in the second, heading into the third period with absolutely no goals on the board. And then we won 3-1. Woohoo! So Dadonov scored on the power play, made it 1-0 Sens. Then Roman Josi scored on the power play as well, tied the game. And then Dadonov scored his second goal of the game, which would be the game winner. And then Dzingel added an insurance marker. And we are up 3-1 after the end of the game, which means that we won. So Dadonov from Kubelik and Batterson, then Dadonov scored his 20th from Logan Brown, and then Dzingel scored his 20th as well from Logan Brown and Dadonov. Wow. I have a lot of 20 goal scorers, so I don't have like a superstar that's scoring 50 a year, but I have plenty of guys scoring 20. That's interesting. So it's like the offense is really well distributed on the team for the most part. Alright, so after this long road trip, we are heading back home. And we are going to play against the Oilers. Oilers are 34-33-5. Alright, Colin White has an injured foot, but he might play this game, so it's nothing too serious. And Edmonton is going to be without Maximov, who is hurt until the end of the season with a fractured ankle. Alright. Can we beat the Oilers? Can we contain McDavid and Draisaitl? We are up 2-1 after one. Baudin scored. Then James Neal scored on the power play to tie the game, and then Kubelik scored for us. Kubelik was a pretty good pickup for me. So we're up 2-1 here after one. We are up 3-2 after two. We got a goal from Abramov, and then the Oilers got a goal from Yamamoto. 3-2 Sens after two. And we won 4-2. Ryan Dzingel added a power play goal in the third. So we're having a good month of March. Right, so Baudin scored his 5th from Brady Tkachuk, then Kubelik from Tkachuk and Trocheck, and then Abramov from Shabbat and Ristolainen, and Dzingel from Hamilton and Shabbat. There you go. Alright, now Detroit is in town, so maybe we're going to be able to avenge that loss that we've had against them earlier this month. So Detroit is now 19-43-10. So Colin White still has an injured foot, and Detroit is still without Dylan Larkin, who is out for the rest of the season, of course. And we are up 1-0 after one. Goal from Kubalik. So, heading into the second period. Still up 1-0 after two. Nobody scored in the second period. Are we going to be able to hold on to our 1-goal lead here? Well, we won 3-1. So Thomas Chabot scored short-handed. And then 10 seconds later, Colin White scored short-handed on the same penalty. Wow. And then finally, Timoshov scored for Detroit. It is a 3-1 Ottawa win. Wow. So we scored 2 short-handed goals in 10 seconds. That's pretty cool. Those type of things don't happen very often. I don't know how much you follow hockey or anything in real life, but you don't see very often the same team scoring twice on the same penalty kill, let alone 10 seconds apart. Alright, so Kubalik scored from Colin White and Ryan Dzingel, then Chabot from Trocheck and Ristolainen, and then Colin White scored his 15th from Ristolainen and Brandstrom, and it is a 3-1 victory. Alright, and another road trip is going to start here. We have a day off, and then we're heading into Buffalo to play against the Sabres. So look at us, we are now playing above 500. Oh, we have put ourselves into a playoff spot right now. This is interesting. So if we manage to not crumble too much, we might get into the playoffs after all. I wasn't really believing in it, but we have had a pretty decent month of March. Alright, so Buffalo, next on the calendar, they are 34, 35, and 5, in case I didn't say that already. Alright, so we are fully healthy, so Colin White not hurt anymore. I bet that scoring a goal made his foot feel better. And Justin Schultz is hurt in Buffalo. He will not be playing this game. Oh, we are down 2-0 here after one. Jack Eichel scored, and then Jimmy Vesey back in Buffalo scored. It is 2-0 Buffalo after one. It is 3-2 Buffalo after two. We had Drake Batterson and Vincent Trocheck tie the game, but then Jack Eichel scored again. So it is 3-2 Buffalo after two. Tied at 5 after 3, so there's still hope. So Artem Zub scored, Kubalik scored, Jack Eichel completed his hat trick. Then we had Artem Zub score to give us a 5-4 lead, but then Tobias Reeder scored with 45 seconds left to go in the third period. We are heading into overtime. Nobody scored in overtime. Oh, we won this in the shootout. Awesome. So we had goals from Brandstrom and Brady Tkachuk. Buffalo retained Taylor Hall. He scored for them. But the win is ours. Nice comeback. Nice comeback. Right, so Batterson scored his 15th from Ristolainen and Logan Brown, then Vincent Trocheck from Thomas Chabot and Kubalik, Artem Zub from Trocheck and Tkachuk, Kubalik scored his 25th from Brady Tkachuk, and then Artem Zub scored his 10th from Dzingel and Colin White, and then the rest was done in the shootout. Another win. Awesome. Right, next game is going to be pretty tough. So we are heading into Tampa Bay, second game in 2 nights, playing the Lightning. They are 47, 23, and 5, so they are pretty good. Yeah, looks like we're going to need to finish among the top 3 in our division to make sure that we are in the playoffs, because we cannot catch the Hurricanes. Oh, no, okay, sorry, I thought there was an X between, next to Pittsburgh, okay. We still have a shot at a wild card as well, just in case. Yeah, we have more points than Pittsburgh right now. Alright, but all of that is not going to be necessary if we can manage to win some games. Alright, let's take a look at Tampa Bay, see how healthy they are. We are healthy, that's good news. Tampa Bay without Merrill and Cirelli. Alright. We need a big game from the guys here. That's going to be a tough matchup. Tied at 2 after 1, so Trocheck scored on the power play to open up the scoring. Then Sergachev scored on the power play for Tampa Bay, tying the game. Chabot scored for us, gave us the lead again, but then Tkachuk, not Brady Tkachuk, Tkachuk scored for Tampa Bay. And it is tied at 2 after 1. Ooh, we're down 5-2 after 2, not good. Edmund, Boggy Bullet, and Aston Reese all scored in the second period. We are down 5-2 after 2, and we lost 6-2. Sergachev added a power play tally in the third period, so we were never quite in that one. Alright, so we had a bad game, it happens. So Trocheck scored from Chabot and Dzingel, and then Chabot from Tkachuk and Abramov. And then it was all Tampa Bay after that. Hopefully we bounce back and win our next game in Toronto. Alright, so Toronto is now 32, 38, and 5. We are still healthy. Toronto is healthy as well. So it all boils down to who's going to outplay whom. And hopefully we outplay them. Oh, we are up 3-1 after 1 here. So Ryan Dzingel scored, then Josh Manson scored, tied the game at 1. And Dougie Hamilton scored on the power play, and then Brady Tkachuk scored. It is a 3-1 Ottawa lead after 1. Still 3-1 after 2. Nobody scored. And we won 6-2. Awesome. So Rocco Grimaldi scored for Toronto, made it 3-2 at that point, and then we scored 3 unanswered. Ristolainen scored, and then Dadonov scored twice, and it is a 6-2 victory here for the Sens. Dzingel scored from Chabot and Dadonov, then Hamilton from Chabot and Dzingel, Tkachuk from Kubelik and Trocheck, Ristolainen from Dzingel, Dadonov from Chabot and White, and finally Dadonov again from White and Dzingel. Alright. And we are heading in Detroit to play against the Red Wings for a quick one-road game here. Columbus is placing Josh Anderson on waivers. Would you like to claim him? No. Wrong Josh Anderson. I would claim the other Josh Anderson. I'm not going to claim this one. Alright, so in Detroit to play the Red Wings, they are now 19, 45, and 11. So not a great record for them for sure. What's the situation in our division here? We have 5-point leads over the Panthers, but they have 2 games in hand, so we have to win our games. Alright, let's take a look here. Right, we are healthy, and Detroit is... Moritz Cedar is hurt, but he might play. Larkin still out, of course. Okay, so... yeah, we need to win. We don't have many games left. I think we have 4 games left. Yeah, we have 4 games left, so we need to win. Well, at least a couple of them. And it starts tonight in Detroit. We are up 3-0 after 1. Vincent Trocheck scored the first goal, then Formanton scored, and then Trocheck again. It is a 3-0 Ottawa lead after 1. 4-0 after 2. Kubelik scored in the second, and then we scored again in the third. Drake Batterson scored, so it's a 5-0 win here in Detroit. Awesome, awesome game. Alright, so Trocheck scored his 25th from Kubelik and Shabbat, then Formenton from Ristolainen and Abramov, Trocheck again from Dzingel and Zub, Kubelik from Tkachuk and White, and then Drake Batterson from Shabbat and Logan Brown. And it is a 5-0 decisive win here in Detroit. And we are heading back home to play the last game of this month against Columbus. San Jose is placing Josef Korinar on waivers. You're a goaltender. I don't really need a goaltender, to be honest, but it doesn't hurt to look. Yeah, I'm not gonna pick him up. All right. Last game of the month, today against Columbus. They are 49-21-7, so they are pretty good. They're not going to be easy to beat at all. We are healthy, however, so that's always good news. Columbus is going to be without Zach Werenski and Gabriel Carlson, so they have 2 defensemen hurt here, so maybe we're going to be able to pounce on that and get ourselves a nice win to finish the month. Tied at 1 after 1. Danny the Kaiser scored for Columbus, and then Brady Tkachuk scored for us. It is tied at 1 after 1. We are up 2-1 after 2 with a goal by Brady Tkachuk. So we are ahead by 1. And we won 5-3, so lots of goals in the third period. Abramov scored for us, then Artem Zub, then Jonathan Drouin, which was acquired at the trade deadline, I think, scored on the power play. Then Dadonov scored for us, then Drouin scored again, make it 5-3, but they were not having enough time. There was only 33 seconds left in the third period at that point. So another win. Wow, we had a kick-ass month of March here, and now we're in a playoff spot. Completely unexpected. Right, so Tkachuk from Shabbat and Trocheck, then Tkachuk again from Kubelik and Shabbat, Abramov from Shabbat, Zub from Dadonov and White, and then Dadonov from Dzingel. Alright. So I am going to just advance until the first. Alright. Let's look at what the standings looks like for us. And Thomas Shabbat is now our best player with 60 points. Right, we still have a 5-point lead on. So what's going on here? So we have a 5-point lead on the Panthers. They have a game on hand, which means that if we get 1 point... Now let me rephrase that. If we get 1 win in our remaining 2 games against the Flyers and the Rangers, we are assured of finishing third and being in the playoffs. If we get only 1 point and the Panthers lose 1 point, we are going to be in the playoffs as well. So basically the Panthers need to win their 3 games to have a shot to overtake us, and if they don't win all of their games... No, they need to win all of their games, and they can only drop 1 point and hope that we lose both of our games. So pretty good. We really came back. I'm pretty happy with that. Now the owner totally hates me because I haven't reached any of his goals. So who knows what's going to happen with that, but at least we should be in the playoffs for this season. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. Of course, next time out we are going to be doing those 2 games there, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the playoffs, whether we're in them or not. So yeah, So that's it for today. So as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in, and if you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff, and until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.